I see a message that you're working. We might want to pick a night that Mike isn't actually wow, I can't believe Juan was here. I didn't see him. Who? Someone. Check it out. He probably was back in there. Go around me. He probably recognized it. Which one's Tom? Tom in the advisor? Yeah. Oh, okay. I recognize him. You probably recognize him. Back and forth, we were living together. I really was the same. Unbelievable, dude. Oh, in the horror movies, forget it. Like, we would just go. Like, one day we watched, like, Videodrome, and the next day we watched, like, Hellraiser 2, and he knew every word. Like, every word to these movies. I went to film school and I knew it was his favorites. Yeah, Hellraiser 1 and 2, Videodrome, he had his Regenerator, was really a big one.
I always remember him, and I will miss him so much when he comes home.
Composer, yeah, thank you.
And I just wanted you to know he was so sweet, and we worked at the club together, and he was always so good to me. He really looked after me, and I would always look forward to seeing him when I came in. He would usually be there, and he usually went in early, and I'd see him at the door or in the alley or already up at Main, and he was very tough. You know, we all had this tough exterior because we were guarding, you know, everything, and everybody took the job really seriously. So it was a well-run ship. But I'd see him and this tough guy standing there, and then he'd see me, and all the toughness would just melt away, and I'd see his eyes, and he'd see my eyes, and this big smile would come across his face, and he's just a wonderful guy, and I will always remember him.
When you have people that come into your house and people hang out and everything and make fun and stuff, even if we were watching, we knew Tim was watching. You know, only because we really cared about us. And he cared about Juan, and he cared about me. And and he made my tent hat. Just like he made it a hat. And he decorated it and I was like, look, what are you doing? My set needs to have a hat. What are you going to do? And sure enough, he was like, sure, I'll make you one. And sure enough, within 2 weeks, I saw him again. And he decorated it. And he put a lot of time and a lot of care in it. And if I could fit that extension on my hat, I would have worn it. But I'm not even kidding. My son will always know who made him that way. And I promise you. I hope this is all right. Knowing that there are many men in the world you could find that bad to say about them. Maybe that's one man I can honestly say he was authentically and naturally a
Hey, Kim, and Lord be with you right now, but the funniest thing that I remember us ever doing together was when the limo and the SUV pulled up and some dude beat his girlfriend's butt, and you came and told us about it, and you had a bag full of bats, at the U-turn bar, and the guy pulled up in his truck, SUV, and we're all looking stupid, and next thing you know, you pulled up with the backpack full of bats and everything, and like, we all just grabbed bats out of your bag, and it was memorial. And may the good Lord be with you, man. Please, I love you, man. All right, wherever you at, stay loud and proud, baby.
Hey, Rew's mom, dad. Rew, you might have thought was a rowdy person listening to St. Testament music like, I am the God of hellfire, and I will have my minions answer to you. But in his heart, he was all peace, love, and joy. He just liked that music because that music gets you going, gets you up, and it's not serious. He's not a Satan worshiper. He was a lover. We were at a show once, a reunion of a great punk band. I had a broken back. All the kids were scared of him, and he wanted to dance and slam. And I couldn't help him because of my broken back, so I just shoved him. He came back to me, I shoved him. He's like, what's wrong with these kids? They don't know anything about music anymore. We go back to the 70s before there was a pit. They don't even know how to dance or even get excited. They're so boring these days with MTV and that stuff. And your son knew what real life was and living life to the extreme and loving life. Because him and me hugged and shoved and pushed all night, and we had a blast. And this is the only night I'll never say. I used to always say as a joke, I rue the day I met Rew, but not tonight. But we still love Edgar Allan Poe anyway. And we love Rew, and I don't know how long. It was like maybe the early 80s when I met him. I lose track. I know people 20, 30, 40 years. I'm dating myself, but probably 10, 30 years. That's a long time. We missed him for a while, and then Fluffy brought him back to the club. He was there in the 80s, came back in 2000, and now liver cancer. And it's just another one of our friends, and it's sad, because we miss them all. And Rew would know, and he would want us to all scream from the mountains. He wouldn't want us to be sad.
To go, and Amy, we were able to get up and talk about a part of Tim's life that his family all knew him as, you know, Tim, their nephew, their cousin, their little boy, and they didn't know Tim the way we all knew Tim, and it was something that they had heard of. Tim, who's out on tour, Tim, who works at these cool clubs in Washington D.C. But to come and tell him, tell his family all the outpouring from everybody that we got, the notes, the things that, the emails that I got, and the things that people said about him, and when I told everyone how about the resounding things that kept coming out was Tim's sweetness and his kindness, it put such a smile on his family's face, and it really made me happy to be able to convey that to them. Some of the things I spoke of real quickly at the funeral, I said, you know, when Tim died, it was kind of funny. It was not just a nationwide thing. It was people from all over the world. Fluffy was in Europe, other people in Spain, and just different parts of the world. Kind of the things that came in. This is a guy who touched people not only here, but really he touched people all over the world. I told his family about how a lot of us, you know, we'll get it because you look at all of us. But we went and saw his family, and you know, kind of looked like Jeffrey here, and you know, they knew Tim the kind of the way we know all of us is, you know, the misfits and characters that we are, and I told them that when I started working at the 930 Club, I knew who Tim was before I worked there because I knew the hat, and I knew the bracelets, and you know, kind of the way, you know, we know Josh and other of us that stick out from what we do, that people would come see us. But I said, you know, when I started working with him, and especially when I lived with Tim, the same as we all know Tim, you know, I came to know that that's just kind of the same way that all of us are. You know, a lot of us are, you know, the black and the spikes and the tattoos, and we're all really, you know, we're a lot of sweet and kind people, and that's what Tim was. And so I made sure that his family knew that. And I read 3 different clips from 3 different emails, again from females who said, a resounding. He looked after me. I'd walk out of the club late at night and he'd be peeping around the corner looking after me. Jody, Liz, and Jackie had emails, and I read different clips of those emails to everyone, and that really got them excited. And one thing, one of them said, I can't remember which, about his eyes and how Tim would look at you with those eyes. And one thing I wanted to make sure everybody knew, Tim's eyes were donated. Somebody has his corneas. So somebody's walking around with Tim's eyes.
Two people.
Somebody also has
Two people.
his bone and
Two
bone
people
marrow.
with eyes.
Both two people have his eyes. So one person got one person got another. And there's somebody that's walking around with bone marrow and bone from Tim. So we're really, that was a great thing to know. That was Friday. We went to the funeral, then we went to a restaurant afterwards. Everybody had a wonderful time. Tim's father was there. I don't know if he's going to make it. Tim, unfortunately, hadn't seen his father since he was about 16 or 17 years old, I think. Tim was, another thing I wanted to let everybody know, a lot of you know, Tim was estranged from his father, found out his father was recently trying to connect with him, and that's kind of sad that he wasn't able to. But Tim was mostly raised by his stepfather, Chris, Jeff's father. And when Tim left us, when he lived with Matt and I, left us 11 months ago to try to go home and deal with his problems and his addictions, he moved down to this beautiful place where we just were this weekend with his mother, beautiful beach house, and it was a great place for him to be with his mother and with his stepfather, Chris, who had raised him, and 6 weeks later died of cancer. And again, some of you might know that or might not. So his mother lost her husband and Tim's stepfather in October, and just recently lost Tim, obviously. So she's kind of all alone down there, and again, that's why I want to reiterate here, if you can sign, we've got a notebook that, you know, write a little clip of something that you remember about Tim, something that put a smile on your face about Tim. Every time we told her any kind of a story, or we showed her the pictures that Fluffy had, that I had, and other people sent us, everybody that was at the funeral saw all the pictures we had, and just had smiles on their faces and got a kick out of it. So if any of you can write something, we've got, there's memorial cards here. There's also cards that his mother wrote up that has her address on it. She does do email, but she's kind of like my mom, a little bit older lady, not big on the email, so a written card would be better, but if you know, an email would be fine. I'm sure she'll get around to it. And I'll end with this just to tell you, Saturday we spent most of the day with her, and she basically explained to me, and because you all asked, and I just want to make sure everybody knows, Tim complained to her about stomach pains on Thursday evening. She rushed him to the local hospital. They immediately diagnosed that his liver was bleeding profusely, and they knew that they wouldn't be able to help him there. He was ambulanced to Wilmington, where his prognosis was very, very poor. She wrote all this down, told us all about it, and again, she wanted me to relay this to you so you all know. He was in Wilmington, and prognosis was poor. She couldn't make it to Wilmington. They called her in the middle of the night and said, at like 3 a.m. and said, we don't think he's going to make it. We've lost him, but we brought him back. But you've got to come in because we don't think he's going to make it. She got there at about 4:30, I think, and they were performing CPR, and they pretty much lost him, and she said, let him go. And as we all know, I want to leave you with this, and invite any of you, if you want to get up and say a few things about Tim. I encourage you to write some things. Two things I've taken away from this, and we all should take away from this. Tim, what we knew of him, and when we saw his when I saw Amy and I saw his family, you know, realized, you know, just like all of us, he's somebody's little boy, and we all loved him, and we all thought he was special, and he, you know, and all the things. We all knew, like, some of the issues and things that Tim had, and we all looked at him the way we kind of look at each other. Tim is somebody's little boy, and Tim's somebody's brother, somebody's nephew. Keep that in mind. When the other thing is, you know, you've heard it all too many times, we've heard it over and over again, that we know that people have addictions and have problems with them, and we need to get to them as soon as we can, and tell that, you know, try to get them on the right path sooner than later. And you know, God knows Matt and I did what we could with Tim, and all of us did what we could with Tim, and Tim decided his own fate, I think, unfortunately. But keep it as a lesson we've been over too many times, that get to your friends early and get them on the right path, and don't let this happen to anybody else. We all love Tim, and Tim, again, Tim's mom has only great feelings about hearing all these things about her son and how great of a guy he was when he was here, and that's the way she's looking at this. She's by herself now, again, lost her husband and lost Tim, so if you guys can write anything, leave a note, I'd really appreciate it, and I'm really glad that I was able to, you know, hopefully represent all of us, because I've known him very closely, but not nearly as long as a lot of you people in the room here that could, you know, have gone in my place. I was just, Amy and I were fortunate enough to be able to take the time and get all the way down there and do it, so I hope that I was able to convey to them what we all thought about him.
Thanks for coming, guys. We all knew Tim loved Satan. Little did he know that he'd be on St. Peter's guest list, +2 probably, +5, who knows, or whoever he is, he's very, very happy right now. One of the nicest, sweetest guys I've ever fucking met in my life, like, period. And what's funny is how people who never met him, you could gauge a person by what they thought of him just by seeing him. If they made a comment about how he looked, you know that person was a complete douchebag. But they're like, hey, there's more to this guy than we think, and then they get to know him, just like we all did, just like I did. I fell in love with him the first time I met him. Amazing guy. And I really don't have much more to say. Anybody wants to take the floor, and if you can't say it, put it in the book. Please. Thank you for coming. Love you all.